Welcome back to Afro Nurse Academy. In our last video, we explored the fundamental differences between anatomy and physiology. Remember, anatomy is all about the structure, what things look like, what parts we have, while physiology is about the function, how those parts actually work. We talked about how these concepts work hand in hand, like understanding both the map of a city and how the traffic flows through it. Today, we're taking that foundation and building something really exciting on top of it. We're going to explore the organization of the human body, from the tiniest building blocks called cells all the way up to the complex systems that keep us alive. Think of this as learning how a house is built, starting from individual bricks, then walls, then rooms, and finally the complete house with all its systems like plumbing and electricity. So here's what we're going to dive into in this video. First, we'll start at the very beginning with cells, the microscopic units that make up everything in your body. Then, we'll see how cells team up to form tissues. After that, we'll discover how tissues combine to create organs. And finally, we'll understand how organs work together in organ systems to keep your body running smoothly. By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain how the human body is organized from its simplest to its most complex level. You'll understand why this hierarchy matters in nursing, and you'll be able to give examples of each level. This is fundamental stuff, the kind of knowledge that will support everything else you learn in anatomy and physiology. And here's the beautiful thing. Once you understand this organization, so many other nursing concepts will just click into place. So if you're ready to build this foundation with us here at Afro Nurse Academy, let's get started. Before we jump into the details, let me give you the overview. The human body is organized in levels, kind of like a pyramid or a hierarchy. At the very bottom, the most basic level, we have chemical components, atoms and molecules. We won't spend much time here today because we're focusing on the structural levels, but just know that everything starts with chemistry. Moving up from there, we get to cells, the smallest living units. Then cells organize into tissues, tissues form organs, organs create organ systems, and all these systems together make up the organism, which is you, a complete human being. Think about it like this. If you're building a school, you start with bricks. That's like our cells. Those bricks are arranged to make walls. That's our tissues. The walls create classrooms, offices, and halls. Those are our organs. Then all these rooms work together as a functioning school. That's our organ systems. And the complete school building with everything working together, that's the organism. Now, let's break down each level in detail, starting from the foundation. What are cells? Cells are the smallest living units in your body. And when I say living, I mean they can grow, they can reproduce, they use energy, they respond to their environment, and they carry out all the basic functions of life. Every single thing in your body that's alive is made up of cells. Now, here's something amazing. Your body contains trillions of cells. Yes, trillions. And these cells come in many different types, each designed for specific jobs. You have nerve cells that send electrical signals, muscle cells that contract and create movement, blood cells that carry oxygen, and so many more. Structure of a typical cell. Even though cells have different jobs, most of them share some common structures. Let me walk you through the main parts. Every cell has a cell membrane. Think of this like a security gate. It controls what comes in and what goes out of the cell. Inside the membrane, you'll find cytoplasm, which is like a jelly-like substance where all the cell's activities happen. Then there's the nucleus, and this is super important. The nucleus is like the control center or the brain of the cell. It contains DNA, your genetic material, which carries all the instructions for what that cell should do and how it should function. The nucleus tells the cell whether it should be a muscle cell, a nerve cell, or any other type. Cells also have other tiny structures called organelles, each with specific jobs. You've got mitochondria, which are like power plants that produce energy. You've got ribosomes that make proteins. You've got the endoplasmic reticulum that helps process and transport materials. Don't worry if these names sound overwhelming right now. We'll cover them in more detail in future videos here at Afro Nurse Academy. You might be wondering, why do I need to know about cells as a nurse? Well, here's the thing. When something goes wrong in the body, it often starts at the cellular level. Cancer? That's cells growing out of control. Diabetes? That's cells not responding properly to insulin. Infections? That's harmful bacteria or viruses attacking your cells. When you understand cells, you understand the foundation of disease processes. You'll better understand why certain medications work, why certain treatments are used, and how to explain conditions to your patients. Let's look at an example. Imagine a patient comes to your clinic in Lagos or Accra, complaining of extreme fatigue. You run tests and discover they have anemia. Now, anemia means there aren't enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. See, you're already thinking at the cellular level. Those red blood cells are being produced in the bone marrow, and if something's wrong with that production process at the cellular level, the patient feels tired because their tissues aren't getting enough oxygen. This is for educational purposes only. If you're finding this helpful so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this series. What are tissues? Now we're moving up the ladder. A tissue is a group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function. Think of it like a team. Individual players are good, but when they work together with a common goal, they achieve so much more. Your body has 4 main types of tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Let me break each one down for you in simple terms. Epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is all about covering and lining. It covers the outside of your body, that's your skin. It also lines the inside of your organs and body cavities. Think of epithelial tissue as the wallpaper and paint of your body. It creates boundaries and protective layers. This tissue is also involved in secretion and absorption. For example, the epithelial cells in your intestines absorb nutrients from the food you eat. The epithelial cells in certain glands secrete hormones or enzymes. One key feature of epithelial tissue is that cells are tightly packed together with very little space between them. This makes sense, right? If you're creating a protective barrier, you don't want gaps where things can leak through. Connective tissue. Connective tissue is the most abundant and widely distributed tissue in your body. Its main job is to connect, support, and protect other tissues and organs. Unlike epithelial tissue, where cells are packed tightly, connective tissue has cells that are spread out with lots of material between them. There are different types of connective tissue. You've got bone, which is hard connective tissue that supports and protects your body. You've got cartilage, which is flexible connective tissue found in places like your ears and the ends of bones. You've got blood. Yes, blood is actually a connective tissue. It connects all parts of your body by transporting nutrients, oxygen, and waste products. And you've got adipose tissue, which is fat tissue that stores energy and insulates your body. Muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is specialized for one main thing: contraction. That means it can shorten and create movement. There are 3 types of muscle tissue, and each has a different job. Skeletal muscle is attached to your bones and creates voluntary movement. When you decide to walk, write, or wave your hand, you're using skeletal muscle. This is the muscle you can control consciously. Cardiac muscle is found only in your heart. It contracts rhythmically to pump blood throughout your body. This is involuntary. You don't have to think about making your heart beat. It just does it automatically. Smooth muscle is found in the walls of hollow organs like your stomach, intestines, blood vessels, and bladder. It's also involuntary. Smooth muscle helps move food through your digestive system, controls blood flow by contracting or relaxing blood vessels, and performs many other automatic functions. Nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is all about communication. It's made up of neurons, which are specialized cells that can receive, process, and transmit information through electrical and chemical signals. Your brain and spinal cord are made primarily of nervous tissue. So are all the nerves that branch out from your spinal cord to reach every part of your body. This tissue allows you to think, feel, move, and respond to your environment. Here's a case study to bring this together. Let's say you're working in a hospital in Nairobi and a patient comes in with a severe burn on their arm. Understanding tissues helps you provide better care. The burn has damaged the epithelial tissue, which means the protective barrier of the skin is broken. This puts the patient at risk for infection and fluid loss. The burn may also have damaged underlying connective tissue, muscle tissue, and even nervous tissue, which is why the patient is in pain and may have difficulty moving that area. See how understanding tissues helps you understand the injury and the treatment needed? This is for educational purposes only. Don't forget to like this video if you're learning something new. What are organs? An organ is a structure made up of two or more types of tissues that work together to perform specific functions. Organs are like departments in a company. Each department has different people with different skills, but they all work together toward a common goal. Let's take your heart as an example. Your heart is made of cardiac muscle tissue, which does the pumping. It's also lined with epithelial tissue, which creates smooth surfaces for blood to flow through. It has connective tissue that provides support and structure, and it has nervous tissue that helps control the heart rate and rhythm. All these tissues working together make the heart a functional organ. Common organs you should know. Let me give you a quick tour of some major organs. Your brain is the control center for your entire nervous system. Your lungs are responsible for gas exchange, bringing in oxygen and removing carbon dioxide. Your liver processes nutrients, detoxifies harmful substances, and produces bile for digestion. Your stomach breaks down food using acid and enzymes. Each organ has a specific job, but here's the beautiful thing. Organs don't work alone. They work together in systems, which brings us to our next level. What are organ systems? An organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform complex functions for the body. This is where everything comes together. You've got cells forming tissues, tissues forming organs, and now organs forming systems. Let me walk you through the major organ systems, and as we go through these, I want you to notice how interconnected everything is. The integumentary system. This includes your skin, hair, nails, and associated glands. It protects your body from the external environment, helps regulate temperature, and provides sensory information. Your skeletal system. Your bones, cartilage, and ligaments make up this system. It provides support, protection for vital organs, allows movement, stores minerals, and produces blood cells in the bone marrow. The muscular system. All your muscles work together to create movement, maintain posture, and generate heat to keep your body warm. The nervous system. Your brain, spinal cord, and nerves work together to control and coordinate body activities, process sensory information, and enable thinking and emotions. The endocrine system. This system includes glands like your thyroid, pancreas, and adrenal glands. They produce hormones that regulate growth, metabolism, reproduction, and many other functions. The cardiovascular system. Your heart and blood vessels work together to transport blood, which carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and waste products throughout your body. The lymphatic and immune system.
This system helps defend against disease, returns excess fluid to the bloodstream, and absorbs fats from the digestive system. The respiratory system. Your nose, throat, trachea, and lungs work together to bring oxygen into your body and remove carbon dioxide. The digestive system. From your mouth to your anus, this system breaks down food, absorbs nutrients, and eliminates waste. The urinary system. Your kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra work together to filter blood, remove waste, and regulate fluid and electrolyte balance. The reproductive system. This system enables reproduction and produces sex hormones.
Why this organization matters. Here at Afro Nurse Academy, we want you to understand that these systems don't work in isolation. They're constantly communicating and supporting each other. When one system has a problem, it often affects others. Let's look at an example. Imagine a patient in a hospital in Kampala with diabetes. Diabetes primarily affects the endocrine system because the pancreas isn't producing enough insulin or the body isn't using insulin properly. But look at how it impacts other systems. The cardiovascular system can be damaged, leading to heart disease and poor circulation. The nervous system can be affected, causing nerve damage called neuropathy. The urinary system gets impacted because the kidneys have to work harder to filter excess glucose. The integumentary system suffers too, with poor wound healing and increased infection risk. See how interconnected everything is? This is for educational purposes only. So, let's recap this journey we've taken today. We started with cells, those tiny living units that are the foundation of everything. Cells group together to form tissues, specialized teams that perform specific functions. Tissues combine to create organs, complex structures with specific jobs. And organs work together in organ systems to keep your body functioning as a complete organism. This hierarchy is so important to understand because it's the framework for everything you'll learn in nursing. When you're studying diseases, you'll see how they affect different levels. Some diseases affect cells, like sickle cell anemia. Some affect tissues, like muscular dystrophy. Some affect organs, like kidney failure. And some affect entire systems, like autoimmune diseases. As a nurse, you'll need to think about the body at all these levels. You'll give medications that work at the cellular level. You'll assess tissues when checking wounds. You'll monitor organ function through vital signs and lab tests. And you'll support entire systems through comprehensive care. In our next video, we're going to explore anatomical positions, directions, and planes. This is super practical because you need to know the correct terms to describe where things are in the body. Instead of saying the cut is on the front of the arm near the shoulder, you'll learn to say there's a laceration on the anterior proximal arm. It sounds fancy, but we'll make it simple and easy to understand. I hope this video has given you a solid understanding of how the human body is organized. Remember, this is your foundation. Every nursing course you take, every patient you care for, every condition you study will come back to this basic organization of cells, tissues, organs, and systems. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Afro Nurse Academy. We're building a community of nursing students across Africa who are committed to excellence in healthcare. Check out the other videos in our Anatomy and Physiology playlist. We're building this course step by step, and you don't want to miss any part of it. Drop a comment below and let me know which organ system you are most excited to learn about in detail. And remember, at Afro Nurse Academy, we're here to support you every step of the way on your nursing journey. This content is for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical training or clinical practice. Always follow your institution's guidelines and seek guidance from qualified instructors and healthcare professionals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.